Good day, learners! Welcome to the new episode of Math Corner. For today's video, I'm gonna teach you how to evaluate a piecewise function. A piecewise function is a function in which more than one formula is used to define the output. Each formula has its own domain. For example, given our function g of x, which is defined by the two formulas. The first formula is 3x plus 4, and the second formula is x squared minus 3. Now, the domain of our first formula, which is 3x plus 4, is defined by this interval x less than 5, which means the value of our domain starts from positive 4 to negative infinity. Whereas, in the second formula, x squared minus 3, the domain of the second formula is defined by this interval, which is x greater than or equal to 5, which means the domain of the second formula starts from 5 up to positive infinity. Okay, let's have an example. First, we will evaluate g of negative 2. Now, before we are going to answer that one, we will look back to our given domain in the two formulas. The first domain is x is less than 5, and here is x is greater than or equal to 5. So, where do you think negative 2 belong? Correct. That belongs to x is less than 5. That starts from positive 4 to negative infinity. That means, since our domain is negative 2, we will use the first formula, which is 3x plus 4. So we are going to have equals 3x plus 4. And then we will substitute x with negative 2. So that will be 3 times negative 2 plus 4. And then simplify, which is equal to negative 6 plus 4. And then we have here negative 6 plus 4, which is equal to negative 2. Therefore, our function g of x, defined by the formula 3x plus 4 with the domain negative 2, is equal to negative 2. Next, let's have letter B. Given the value of x, which is 5, so we are going to evaluate g of 5. Now, where do you think 5 belongs? Is it from the first formula or the second formula? Correct. It belongs to the second formula, the domain of the second formula, which is x is greater than or equal to 5. So that means we are going to use this formula. So we have here equals x squared minus 3. And then we are going to substitute x with positive 5. That is 5 squared minus 3. And then simplify. So 5 squared is equal to 25 minus 3, which is equal to 22. Therefore, the function g of x defined by the formula x squared minus 3, considering that our domain is 5, is equal to positive 22. Let's take a look with this example. Given the piecewise function defined by 5x, if x is less than 0, that means the value of our domain in the first formula is negative 1 to negative infinity. Next, second formula is 3 if x is less than or equal to 3 or is greater than or equal to 0. So what do you think are the values of our domain here in our second formula? That means the value of our domain starts from 0 to positive 3. Lastly, x squared if x is greater than 3. That means if the value of our domain is 4 to positive infinity. Now, let us evaluate the first function, given the value of x, which is equal to 0. So where do you think 0 belongs? Obviously, it doesn't belong to x less than 0 because here, the value of our domain starts from negative 1 to negative infinity. So obviously, it belongs to our second formula, which is the interval x is less than or equal to 3 and it's greater than or equal to 0. That means if x is 0, the value of our f of 0 is equal to the constant 3. Okay, that's it. Let's just copy this one because 3 is constant. So whatever the value of our domains are, still our output will be the constant itself. Okay, let's proceed now to our second function, given f of 4. That means the value of x is positive 4. So obviously, it doesn't belong to x less than 0. and it's not belong to the second formula, that means it belongs to x greater than 3 in the third formula. So that means we are going to use x squared and then substitute x with 4. That is 4 squared. That means f of 4 is equal to 16. So that means the value of our function f of x defined by x squared, where our domain is positive 4, is equal to positive 16. Okay, for our last example, we will answer one multiple choice question about a piecewise function. So here is the question. Evaluate the piecewise function at the given value. Given the function f of x, which is equal to 3x plus 1 if x is less than 1, and negative 2x minus 5 if x is greater than or equal to 1. Evaluate f of positive 2. Letter A, negative 9. Letter B, negative 8. Letter C, negative 3. And letter D, positive 1. So to evaluate f of 2, we will look back first to where positive 2 belong. In which particular interval does positive 2 belong? Is it in the first interval, which is x is less than 1? Or is it in the second interval, which is x is greater than or equal to 1? Now, obviously, positive 2 belongs to our second interval, which is x is greater than or equal to 1. That means we will use our second formula, which is negative 2x minus 5. So we have here f of positive 2 is equal to copy negative 2x minus 5. Substitute x with positive 2, which is negative 2 times 2 minus 5. And then simplify. So we have negative 4 minus 5, which is equal to negative 9. Therefore, our answer for this particular question will be letter A, which is negative 9.